And as sectarian tension rises across Iraq, Kurdish leaders are pushing for independence despite strong objections from the central government. The conflict is being further fueled by the massive oil deposits in the country's north, which both sides wish to claim and exploit. Here's Lucy Kavanaugh.
They call them those who face death, Peshmerga. Once guerrilla rebels fighting Saddam for an independent Kurdistan, now an officially sanctioned force in Iraq's semi-autonomous Kurdish region. The Peshmerga and the Iraqi troops are supposed to be on the same side. After all, they're citizens of one country. But for more than a year now, here in northern Iraq, the two armies have been pitted against each other, their weapons locked and loaded. These Peshmerga soldiers are on alert 24 hours a day. They're guarding the Kurdish front line of the so-called disputed territory. Now, no Iraqi soldiers are allowed beyond this point. If either army advances, if there's even a single misfire, it could spark a new war. It's a war the Peshmerga is ready for.
We have enough forces in place and enough firepower for the Peshmerga to defend against any surprises. If we're attacked, of course, we will retaliate.
At the heart of the disputed territory is Kirkuk, which both Baghdad and the Kurds say belongs to them.
All the problem in Kirkuk.
It's like a small version of Iraq, with Sunni, Shia, Christians, Arabs and Kurds. It's disputed because all the sects are here. But of course, the other reason is Kirkuk's oil.
The oil fires illustrate the main reason that this land is so hotly contested. Kirkuk is sitting on an estimated 10 billion barrels of oil and is responsible for a large chunk of Iraq's current output. That's enough to sustain an independent state should the Kurds get their way and annex this disputed territory. It's also enough to bankrupt Iraq if the oil revenue is lost. That revenue makes up 95% of Iraq's annual budget of more than $100 billion. And there's a lot more money at stake. The International Energy Agency says Iraq could export a staggering $5 trillion worth of oil over the next 2 decades. The Kurds and the central government are supposed to share these profits, but they haven't been able to sort out how.
The oil and gas, it is all Iraqi people revenue by constitution. But till now, there is no real, soft, and acceptable understanding between all Iraqis on the revenue sharing. This is the key problem.
Oil has transformed Kurdistan into a boomtown. In the capital of Erbil, construction projects dot the landscape. There are luxury malls, and foreign investors are flocking here. The region looks and feels like a different country, and for the Kurds, that may be the ultimate goal. But for now, this is one Iraq divided into two.
We have face-off between Iraqi military and Kurdistan military. And when you have a situation like this, it causes tension, and if something goes wrong, it can lead to actual fight between the two sides.
Blood for oil. It's a scenario that no one in Iraq wants to see, but the armies remain in place, each side carefully watching the other. Kurd versus Arab, Iraqi versus Iraqi. Lucy Kavanaugh, RT, reporting from the disputed territories in Iraq.